Darling, lovely to see you. Okay, good. You are here for a life design session. Excellent. Mwah, mwah. Now, I see that you have paid in full, darling. This is very good, and you have come to have me help you assess what is happening in your life. First and foremost, it was the great Aristotle who said, "You are what you repeatedly do, darling. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not a virtue. It is a habit." Now, that was Aristotle. Now, of course, what is he implying? Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words is more or less what it comes down to. So if I, look at me, darling, came to your house right now, unannounced, and had a tour, what would I see, darling? Would I see beautiful, bold design? Would I see organization, precision? Would I see a space that is designed to maximize your full potential? No. No, I would see chaos, disruption, disorder. I would find it to be a complete mental catastrophe. For it is only in our own personal spaces we spend most of our time. And if you do not allow yourself the luxury of having a calming space to live in, darling, then what are you doing with yourself? So first things first. If I walk into your room right now, is your room clean? No, of course not, darling. I would find underwear. I would find socks. I would find dirty shirts. I would see a clothes hamper that was not even being used. Not only would there be clothing in the clothes bin, I'm sure I would find clothing on the floor. Am I wrong? Do not turn this room into a house of lies, darling. No. I am not wrong, am I? No. It's okay. It's okay. This is what we have. Sometimes we need to have certain people in our lives tell us what we already know. For oftentimes it is not the message that is the most important. It is oftentimes the messenger. And I have noticed this to be the case in my own personal life. There have been moments of resistance when somebody was telling me something I didn't want to hear. And coming from this person, I did not hear it, darling. In fact, I was annoyed by their message. However, days, months, weeks later, a different person more or less tells me the exact same thing. Only this time, I listened. Could be many reasons. We all hold strange grudges, both you and me. We cannot help it. We are human, darling, and all of us, in spite of our greatest efforts, all have egos. Even me, darling. I know. Stop. I know. Shh. I know. It is true. Even I have been known to fall into the ego trap. It goes with the territory of being a person, especially considering you and I. No, I take that back. I was about to say that you and I may not be superheroes. But even the superheroes have emotional problems and ego, darling. Why do you think so many of them got sucked into engines and No capes. No capes came from directly from ego. Clearly, it is beneficial not to have fabric dangling behind you, waiting to snatch you up. No. But they wanted to look a type of way. Getting back to the beginning, you are what you repeatedly do, darling. Excellence then is not a virtue, it is a habit. So we need to get you into the habit of being excellent. So let's talk about your life design habits. First and foremost, how was your sleep, darling? Would you say you often get 8 hours of sleep a night? No, you wouldn't. Would you say you often get 7 hours of sleep a night? If you're lucky. I know. So one life design habit that you and I are going to create and you will uphold. For this is you. This is your life. I cannot, no matter what I tell you today, no matter what you tell me, you are going to do. The only proof of pudding is whether or not you follow through with it, darling. So, what time do you like to go to bed? I see, okay. It really does not matter to me. You must simply pick a time and stick with it. It does not matter to me if that time is 9 p.m., 11 p.m., 1 a.m., or 2 a.m. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you have consistency in your life. For when we don't have consistency, humans are pattern recognizing machines. We are meaning making machines. And humans, you and me, we like structure, order, routine. This is why when we are children, we actually don't want complete and total freedom and terror. You will notice a child who has no rules and boundaries and limitations often acts very spoiled, and they will seek out those who will challenge them and give them structure. Now, this is the case not with just children, darling. This is the case true with adults as well. Adults, human beings, you and me, Homo sapiens, darling. We like routine. We like structure, hence positive habit forming, positive habit building, so that eventually these things do not occur to you as I have to in order to. No. It is just part of who you are. It is who you be in the world, darling. So, number one, sleep. You must get your sleep design on track. So you choose when you would like to go to bed, and you will block off an 8-hour chunk. 8 hours between when you say you go to bed and when you wake up. And you will do this for at least 2 weeks minimum. That is the first step in building and developing a habit, darling. Next, how is your diet, exercise? These are crucial parts of your life design. Your living space, is it clean? Is it tidy? That's right, so you will go home and you will clean it up. You will organize your home, whatever that means to you, whatever the word home means to you. You will make it work in an organized way, won't you? Yes. Good, darling. Next, your sleep. You will figure out a schedule where you can consistently go to bed and get up at the same time. It sounds very simple, and it is simple, and very challenging. I know. I am often struck by ideas and concepts that can keep me up for hours, sometimes days on end, darling. I'll have a feverish burst of energy to create, and then I will rest. So, I don't know what kind of person you are. Maybe some people are more like the tortoise, and some are more like a hare. Some sprint and then stop, and then sprint and then stop. In fact, a friend of mine, Naval, he once told me that he believed that people should try to behave more like lions. And what he meant by that is, how do lions behave, darling? Most of the time, the lion in the Serengeti is resting. It's resting under the shade of a tree, lounging and maybe playing around a little bit. And then, when it is time to go on the hunt, the pride will get together and they will stalk their prey and put forth a tremendous amount of effort and work in a short burst. Take down the prey, take down the wildebeest, feed the pride, and go back to lounging. Now, I see many positive benefits of this, but I will also say, darling, there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all. Now, would you describe yourself as a person who is more slow and steady? In modern vernacular parlance, we might call this kind of a person a grinder. Somebody who just has the discipline to do what they are wanting to do on a daily basis, no matter what. So with that type of person, and then you have the more ethereal type of person. Certain authors come to mind. In fact, so many authors are famous for this. They will be given a deadline to create an article, for example. And my old acquaintance, Mr. Hunter S. Thompson, rest his soul, tragic life, but no one can argue that he was not a brilliant writer, would procrastinate more than I've seen any human procrastinate, and debauch himself. That poor man had no sense of self-preservation. Oh, he treated his body like a dumpster, filling it full of poison and craziness. However, he would, at the end, when the deadline was there and he had to finally put words on the page, he would sit and feverishly hammer out brilliant things like Fear and Loathing and other books, other types of gonzo journalism, riding around with the motorcycle gang, the Hells Angels, even doing ghastly things. Listen, Mr. Thompson was a one-off. He was a bit crazy. I'm not saying you can live like that. Nobody can. He could not live like that, darling, is my point. It killed him and sort of had a tragic downfall. I digress. For you, for now, what we are going to achieve, darling, is life equilibrium. Right now, I feel like you are fighting. There are things that you want to have that you don't have. There are types of ways of being that you wish you were, that you feel at the moment you are not. And this is very normal. Almost everybody feels this way from time to time and need to reinvent. There's a reason you've heard of this thing known as the 7-year itch, darling. Turns out, and this is what I've heard, roughly every 7 years, humans go through a fascinating developmental shift. And let's think about that in our own personal lives. So you have from roughly 0 when you were born to 7 years old, early childhood. Okay? And around 7 years old, you start to have your own identity, your own thoughts. You start making decisions about who you are as an individual. Fast forward 7 more years. Now you are 14. Ooh, big life shift. Now suddenly you are a teenager, a young teenager, but you are really separating yourself from your parents. You will have your own ideas. You will read books. You will read Tolkien. You will read the great Siddhartha. You will read Ayn Rand. You will read whatever great works of fiction that there are, and you'll start to develop a philosophy of how you think the world works. But of course, you are 14 years old, darling, and you know nothing. But you will think you are unlocking the keys to the universe. And then what happens, darling? 7 years later, you are 21. You are 21. You are officially an adult in the eyes of the world. And you will be making choices and decisions which will impact you for the rest of your life, and starting choosing career paths and trajectories and things of this nature. And in many instances, you will be acting autonomously as a self-actualized adult. And yet, you will be very green. You will be very young. You will not have much life experience, darling. Finding employment will be difficult because you don't know anything. You don't have any real-world experience yet. Fast forward, you are now 28 years old. You have gone through the menial jobs, the low end, and you are living on your own. You have gotten your own place. Maybe you have found a boo, a partner, somebody to share, to date, and you're experimenting with this. And we fast forward 7 more years, and now you're 35, darling. At 35, you are probably in the middle of your maybe first, possibly second career. You are settling in. You are establishing yourself, possibly having your first children, darling, if that is what you wanted to do. And then we fast forward another 7 years, and where are we? 42. And as the great Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy says, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? The answer is 42. Now, make sense of that what you will, darling, but there is significance in the year 42 for human adults like you and me, in that by that time, you are truly established. Oftentimes, you are on a second career. You have tried something, but you are also becoming much wiser. You have some life experience under your belt. You've been in love. You've had heartbreak. You've felt rejection. Maybe you've been on both sides. Maybe you've both been an employee and an employer. Maybe you have had a life that is rich, and maybe you've traveled. And now, the idea of going out late night and partying is less and less attractive. I remember when I was young, I would seek out discotheques. I would seek out parties, late nights, full of debauchery and profligacy. And as I notice I get a little bit older, those certain temptations no longer have the sparkle they once did, darling. Now, we'll stop there, but you understand the analogy. I could keep going, of course, and 49 and yada, etc., etc. But the 7 years, in 7-year increments, is an interesting way of breaking down our lives, darling. And I'm curious where you think you are on this timeline. Where are you? Does that fit? Are you in the, are you in the young adventure, trying to establish yourself, trying to put your stamp onto the earth? Are you a little older, more established? How do you see and feel yourself in the moment? Interesting, darling, interesting. Very good, very good. That's very mature of you. So, step one, sleep. We are going to get your sleep under control. Step two, you will clean your home. Get it organized. Nobody thrives in a chaotic environment, darling. It leads to anxiety. You will actually find you sleep better and have less stress and anxiety. You will have less stress and anxiety if your environment is organized. And the last thing I'm going to throw at you is diet and exercise. Every day for the next 2 weeks, you will get outside. You will take at least a walk. It does not have to be a run. It does not have to be you going to the gym and picking up heavy weights and straining yourself. No, darling, you may do that if you like. But my only requirement is that every day for 14 days, you break a sweat. It can be a light sweat. It does not have to be dripping. But I want you to perspire at least once a day for 14 days, darling. And on top of that, eat less sugar, consume less alcohol. If you want to get serious, you will consume none. But I also live in the real world, darling, where life happens. We have friends, we have weekends, get-togethers, social functions, etc. Yada, yada, yada. Will you take this on? Yes, you will, won't you, darling? I knew you would. I knew I could count on you. This is why I accepted you as a potential pupil, if you will. I don't accept just anybody. I see great potential, darling. Great potential. Now, you will go make me proud, won't you, darling? Of course you will. Now, go. Report back to me in 2 weeks. I cannot wait to hear and see the results, darling. Until then, ciao.